It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this Monday. What is this? This is the 12th day of December already. My goodness, we're halfway through Christmas month. Anyway, welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News, coming to you live from the MSC Seascape in Ocean Key in the Bahamas. And folks, I'll be perfectly honest with you, this is probably the worst news day I've ever had. It's just nothing going on. A couple of things that I'll mention from over the weekend, but just nothing earth-shattering at all. Wonder of the Seas finally got officially named. Icon of the Seas got floated out. And then, of course, you probably saw the video I put up about Carnival's Jubilee getting delayed for 2 months. And that wraps up the news. So, anyway, we're going to talk some about MSC Seascape this morning. Today, by the way, is National Ambrosia Day. That's not one of my favorites. So, if you like it, go to the ambrosia store and get some. Or if you're a cook, make some. Again, I'm not going to run out and get any. If you're listening by the podcast, as always, welcome aboard. The numbers are just continually growing by leaps and bounds over there in the podcast world. So I thank each and every one of you for being with us. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. All the big guys, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast. It doesn't matter. Just search for travel and cruise industry news, and up pops the old fat guy. Anytime you are listening, if you want to jump over to the video feed, there's always a link in the podcast description to access the video feed. So, all right. We'll talk a little bit about Scootaround. Of course, we had an issue yesterday, which by the time I finally got all the facts together, I really can't fault Scootaround for what they did, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. But anyway, they are sponsoring me on these couple cruises last week and then on the Vloggers Cruise in January, so I do appreciate that. You guys know how much Scootaround means to me. I could not do this without them. My scooter is, that's my legs, my eyes, my brain, everything. I got to have that to be able to do anything. And yesterday was awful when I was a couple hours without it. It was just awful. So, but I'm going to talk about that some, what really happened. But anyway, if you are in need of any kind of mobility assistance, mobility devices, if you're mobility challenged at all, on up to fully disabled, keep Scootaround in mind, and the WHILL Powerchairs. They own Scootaround now. So, and they can cover anything you need from canes to crutches on up to the really high-end power chairs. So, they're good folks. I've been dealing with them now. I was trying to figure out the other day, I believe it's 8 years now that I've been renting Scootaround on every cruise. All right. I'll be back to talk about MSC Seascape after a quick word from a network sponsor. All right, guys. First of all, let me tell you that this is an absolutely gorgeous ship. Of course, it's the first time I've ever been on a brand new ship. And I was expecting to have some problems. I wasn't expecting the problems that came along, and there's been some more that I was kind of expecting. One thing that I didn't expect, I ordered a Bloody Mary this morning, and I'm only down about halfway. You see something that's missing from the Bloody Mary? I tease y'all about I have to work on my vegetable levels. No vegetables in it. I mean, there's the tomato juice. And it is spicy. Oh my God, it's spicy. Anyway, so I wasn't real happy with the Bloody Mary. Okay. Yesterday, I Ubered over from the hotel. Unfortunately, MSC, like Holland America last week, is still using the old-fashioned way of delivering the scooters to the cabin and making you get in a wheelchair and go through the port facilities and the check-in and the security in a wheelchair. Of course, you got to have somebody pushing the wheelchair. And then the port facilities normally hand you off to one of the ship's guys. And he pushes you actually on the ship. Well, yesterday, the guy that took me originally was able to take me all the way. So I'm not sure why or how they're doing that, but anyway. So the embarkation process was fine. Matter of fact, for a big ship with, 5,600 people, it was smooth. Got on the ship, there was a minor line, but it wasn't bad. Got on the ship, and the guys rolled me right up to my room, and no scooter. So I did a couple things as quickly as I could. I called guest services and alerted them, and I called Scootaround. So obviously the 888 number for Scootaround, they didn't know what was going on. So they said, "Hold on, we'll get a hold of the dispatcher in Miami." Well, come to find out that the truck that was delivering to this ship and one of the Norwegian ships, I believe it was a Norwegian ship. Anyway, another ship. He had scooters for two ships. Had a flat tire. So it got delayed. Actually, the scooter was delivered to this ship at 2:04. By then, I had been in my room for about an hour. I think I was doing a live stream when the supervisor that was trying to find the scooter is saying, "We have a problem. You're not on the list." I said, "What do you mean I'm not on the list?" "Well, here's the list, and you're not on it." But I'll keep looking. I said, "Well, yeah, there's going to be a scooter here somewhere for me, I promise you." So I called Scootaround back and found out that at 2:04, exactly 2:04, the scooter was delivered in my name. They gave me the scooter number. It was scooter number 81196, as a matter of fact. So, of course, now that was shortly after 2. Within minutes, I notified guest services again, tried to get a hold of this lady that says I'm not on the list. They didn't know what lady that was. So I gave them the information. They says, "Well, as long as your cabin number is, you have it coming to your cabin, it'll get delivered there." I said, "No, you don't understand. This has been lost. Everybody's been looking for it for over an hour now." "Oh, well, I'll give the information back to housekeeping." Okay, whatever. By the time that I'd gotten around to being over 2 hours, and still no scooter. And I know that it's on the ship. I called again. I wasn't so nice that time. Well, finally, my room attendant found the scooter. I got it at 4 o'clock. It took them 2 hours after the scooter was on this ship to get it to me. So that was a strike against MSC. I mean, that's ridiculous. When everybody in the world's looking for something and it takes 2 hours. I know. Hell, I mean, I can't walk, and I could have gotten down there and gotten the scooter 2 hours. And then when I finally got the scooter so I could get out of the room and go get something to eat, go get a drink, they started the mustard drill. All right, on MSC, you have to watch a video on the television. Well, that's no problem. So I'm sitting there watching it, and they give you a code at the end. Well, the code is a phone number you have to dial to prove that you've watched the silly thing. So I did all that. So then I'm saying, okay, now I can go get something to eat or drink. And here comes the announcement. Okay, you got one more thing you got to do. Everybody needs to go to deck 7 and find your station and check in. Don't use the elevators, what the announcement said. Just go to deck 7, but don't use the elevator. So what's going to happen? I'm on deck 10. I can't use the stairs, so I got to use the elevator. And the elevators are packed full of people, not people on scooters, just people that don't listen and are riding the elevator. So I had to wait and wait and wait and wait. And this elevator, I'll tell you about the elevator system in a minute because it is really weird. But then when I finally got an elevator that I could get the scooter on and my big fat butt, and I got down to 7, picture in an area about the size of a living room on a fairly decent sized house. You're cramming 5,000 people and 5,600 people into that space, and nobody's paying any attention to people that are on wheelchairs or scooters. I'm getting elbowed. I'm getting run over. I'm getting hit. I mean, it was just ridiculous. People with their bags and luggage and crap are still going around. It was awful. So MSC's got to do something about that. Put the stations at different parts of the ship. Don't have everybody coming to the same space. Oh my God, it was a total cluster. You know what? Okay, the elevators on the ship are automatic. You go to the elevator, and where you push for up or down, you've got a keypad, and you tell it what floor you're going to. So let's say I'm on my deck 10. I'm going to 16, let's say. So I hit 16. And then this obnoxious woman comes on the loudspeaker and says, deck 16, go to elevator D. So you turn around and go to elevator D, and you wait. And you wait. And finally, the elevator door opens, and hopefully it's not full, that you can actually get in the elevator. Because if it's full, you can't get in there, then you got to reprogram and do the same thing all over again and start the waiting procedure a second time. Or if somebody is getting off the elevator, okay, a couple of people are getting off on that floor, maybe somebody on another scooter. By the time they get out of the way, the doors are closed and you get left behind without getting back on. It's just awful. screwy elevator system. I mean, eventually I get to where I'm going, but it's just a pain. And by the end of the week, that obnoxious sounding voice, I'll be ready to scream. So, all right. So finally, the safety drill's over, and there's so many people. It's 5,600 people, all trying to get back on that same elevator bank. I said, hell with this. I'll just take off and go someplace else. So I rode around trying to find an elevator that wasn't so busy. And finally, I did, and I never made it upstairs for sail away, because now, by then, it's almost time to go to the dining room for dinner. So I did finally, I got to the Shine Bar here on 6. That's about where I am now. The Shine Bar is actually on the opposite side of the ship from me, but that's one of the popular bars. And I finally made it here yesterday and had a drink. Finally, never did get anything to eat until I went to dinner. So I went to dinner. I had a nice table. I only had one other person at the table. Whether some people, went to specialty dining or who knows. But I had nice guys, long-time cruiser, disabled vet. His name's Phil. Great guy. Enjoyed dinner. And I had prime rib and all the trimmings. And it was a good dinner. One thing I found out, and I promised Phil that I would put this on the air. He, as a disabled veteran, when he cruises from Florida, the cruise ports cover his parking. There's no charge for parking. He got off a ship in Port Canaveral, and they would not give him free parking. They made him pay. So Port Canaveral is making disabled veterans with handicap license plates pay for parking. That's not right, folks. So I told Phil that I would put that on the show today. So there it is. The next thing that's absolutely awful about this ship, and folks, I'm not downing the ship totally. There's just some things that happen to be important to me. Like, the ship has no Diet Coke. They have Coke Zero. Well, anybody that drinks Diet Coke knows that Coke Zero is a totally different taste. I can't believe if I want to order a drink, I order Maker's Mark and Coke Zero. Ugh. No Diet Coke on the ship. When I got a couple cans to take to my room last night, I had to take Coke Zero to the room. Now, that's almost as bad as drinking regular Coke. You can't stand the taste of regular Coke either. All right. I went by the excursion desk last night. That was one of the few things I got done before I was just done. I didn't get a whole lot done last night. I ended up going back to the room. I had to unpack and stuff. I had to get laundry ready to send out for laundry this morning because, I've been on the road for, 10 days, and I'll carry as little stuff as possible. So my guy took a bag of laundry to do today. But anyway, I went by the excursion desk, and the guy was really nice. I said, is there any chance on any of the ports that there are accessible excursions? Oh, sure, we have accessible excursions. I said, oh, you do? He says, oh, yeah, surely we do. Okay, well, tell me what you have that's accessible. He says, well, let me get the book. So he comes over with this book of excursions. It's got like 300 excursions in it between, here at Ocean Key, and then we go to Nassau, and then we go to San Juan, and then we go to Puerto Plata or Amber Cove. I'm not sure which one we're going to. It's all 5 miles apart. And back to Miami. So it had excursions for all of them. And he says, they in this little section here, he says, we just have to look for your little handicap, the little symbol. I said, yeah. He found one. Finally, one handicap accessible excursion out of 300. And that's in San Juan. And it's a tour that I've done before. So, and it's $100 now. $100 to see something that I've already seen. I don't think so. I mean, as much as it would be nice to do a handicap accessible excursion. But anyway, so he said, oh, I'm surprised. I said, don't be. I said, 21 cruises this year. I've been on one excursion. So I said, I'm not surprised at all. All right, the one thing that I thought I would not have a problem with, this being a brand new ship, are the public restrooms. The public restrooms have no push button doors. They're heavy. Most situations you have to go through 2 doors to get into the stall. It doesn't matter if you push or pull. If you're on a scooter or in a chair, you have to reach forward over everything that's in front of you there to get a hold of the handle, and you got no leverage to pull open a heavy door. If you can eventually get it open, and I get it open, I put a foot in to hold it, I get the other hand and get it back here, and then get the scooter going through it. And by the time I get the scooter started in, then I got to let go of the door, and it slams into my arms. So I end up getting more bruising on my arms. That's from the damn bathroom doors. So, brand new ship. Now, I have not surveyed the entire ship, but every one of the public restrooms I've been to are all the same. So, I'll eventually get down to the people and file another report with them. I have no idea if they care less or not, but hopefully I can find somebody in an accessible area so I can make a report. And then after all of that, inaccessibility left and right, I discovered something that's really accessible.
All right, this is balcony cabin 10068. And of course, this is the balcony door. And I thought it looked a little strange until I discovered that over here on the wall is a switch. And oops, that's the light switch. There we go. Now, watch what it does down there. The door opens. The flap folds down. And it's an accessible balcony. How cool is that? Of course, we're at Ocean Key, the private island. So, I love it.
Amazing. My balcony is accessible, and all the bathrooms on this ship are inaccessible. And so far, from what I've seen of the pools, they're like all the pools on other ships. There's no ramps. I haven't even seen a lift chair yet. If somebody wants to get hoisted into the water. Now, I have not, again, folks, I did not get to do anything that I normally do on the first day when I'm on a ship. So probably today, rather than going ashore, I will try to catch up from yesterday. Get some filming done and really try to cover the whole ship so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Now, this morning I did do one thing when I was after breakfast.
All right, this is the Bridge of Sighs. This is 16 decks up, folks. And that, of course, is a glass bridge. Oh my. That's a long way down. That's almost dizzying. The Bridge of Sighs on the MSC Seascape.
Yeah, and it was dizzying. That's the only way I can say it. It was really. I'm a sissy anyway. It was kind of scary. All right. That's going to wrap up the news portion of the show. Let's see who's over fussing at me in the chat room today. I hope I can see it because it's getting pretty light out here now. So I'm also having a little bit of trouble with my mouse. Oh, there it is. All right. Let's go see who's here. Yo, Brooklyn in the house. Hi, Eddie. Cindy's here. Hi, Cindy. How you doing? Robert's with us. Hot Air Tom is here. Good to have you, Hot Air Tom. As always, Nikki's here. Kenneth's here. Sonny's here down in Mississippi. Hot Air says, hot news. I saw Bronx is getting a new subway station so you can get from Bronx to Penn Station. I wonder if that's because the port now is going to have some hot activity. That's interesting. Let's see who else. Dennis is with us. Hi, Dennis. Dennis is over there in Greece. Yeah, that's a bad brand of Bloody Mary. Man, I tell you what, Dennis, it's got a kick. But it doesn't have olives. It doesn't have. I don't care about the stalk of celery, except you can stir it. So I'll get it down then. They don't have my brand of bourbon. You know, I drink Elijah Craig. That's my preferred brand. They don't have Elijah Craig on this one. The last two of the last three MSCs that I've done had my Elijah Craig, so that was a real enjoyment for me. Hot Air says, do you disembark on Saturday? We drive to Myrtle Beach Saturday, but we'll stop on the way outside of Wilmington, North Carolina. You want to stop and visit? No, it's Sunday. I disembark on Sunday. Yeah, last week was Saturday to Saturday. This week's Sunday to Sunday. If you were traveling from Miami on Sunday, you could spend the night with us in Myrtle Beach. That's got some possibilities, Hot Air Tom. Let's see how the disembarkation goes and how quickly I get in my car and get out of town. If I can make it that far. But yeah, that's got a possibility. The final last-minute solo cruise fare for Chillie's MSC cruise was $482 for an inside, $650 for a balcony. Single supplement was 12% inside, 14% balcony. Yep. That's about right. Of course, when I booked this sucker, I paid a lot more than that. And unfortunately, because I didn't know or didn't realize it, I paid in full up front. I won't do that again because I could have saved some money as we got toward the end. Now, I don't know that I could have gotten it all the way down where the final prices were, but and it's it's busy. I mean, I didn't get the final numbers yet, but it's somewhere in the vicinity of 5,600. So sitting there looking, it was kind of cloudy-ish earlier, so it didn't look like it was going to be all that great a day at Ocean Key. And it's now the sun's out. I'm looking over at the main beach area. There's a ton of people over there, a ton of people in the water. A lot of people got off the ship already. So, and I'm probably not because, I've been here 3 times before. I've covered the island thoroughly. I even had lobster here one time, and from the lobster shack. Those keypad elevators are cool. They had those at the Hilton Hawaiian Resort. It's I'm not sure how functional they are in a extreme high traffic situation like you get on a big cruise ship. Because there's been probably 5 or 6 times already in less than 24 hours that I have not been able to get on an elevator and then had to reprogram and to wait for the next one. So I'm willing to not go against the system yet, but I'm leaning that I don't like it, but we'll see. I mean, I got to give the ship a chance, obviously. And I didn't intend for this to be just a complete bitch session this morning. I'm just reporting what I've seen so far. On the other hand, the things that I really like, the food's been good. My eggs Benedict this morning were not like last week where I had that little gal cooking my eggs fresh every, when she see me coming and drop the eggs in the boiling water. I mean, that was as fresh as you could get. So they do eggs Benedict here. They, put them out in a pan and they sit for a while. So what happens is the English muffin on the bottom, because it's sitting on a hot a pan, it gets hard. So you have a crunchy eggs Benedict. But it was, still the taste was fine. Oddly enough, I didn't see any bacon this morning. I had sausage. I didn't see any sausage patties. They did have smoked salmon, Dennis. They also had herring. I'm not a herring fan. They had all the fixings to do your own, lox and bagel, except you have to go to the bread station to get your bagel and get it toasted. But yeah, there was lots of smoked salmon around. The pastries were okay, but then I'm coming off a week that the pastries and donuts and stuff were just glorious on Home America. But these certainly weren't bad. They're pretty normal-ish. Okay. I did not go to any of the entertainment venues last night. I just crashed. So they had a show last night I wanted to see. Didn't make it. There's a comedian tonight I hope to go to. But we'll see. I mean, I'm going to try to catch up today on what I should have done in 2 days. So hopefully I'll be out and about tonight. Hot Air says the Hilton even had a handicap button to press, and that made the door stay open longer for a wheelchair. Wow, now that would be helpful. Maybe I need to look on this. Maybe I have not caught on that would be there. I'll look for that one, Tom. This is the first time I've been, involved with this system. So I'll check. Maybe there's a handicap button there that I just haven't seen that would give some extra time with the door being open. Excellent feature, Dennis says. I totally agree. Its lowest expectations when sailing MSC. A reminder to always check your onboard account every day for erroneous charges and be prepared to fight with guest services to correct the errors. Yeah, I pretty much have prepaid everything, including my drinks. I rarely ever have a drink package, and I've got a drink package this week. And that was because the soda package was outrageously expensive, so I could have my Diet Cokes, which I can't have anyway. And it was not that much money to add on for the drinks package. So I said, well, hell, let's just do it. So, but yeah, for me, it's going to be dicey not to have Diet Cokes all week. So, Otter says, I like Coke Zero better than Diet Coke, but then the Mountain Dew Zero affects my system wrong. But I like Diet Mountain Dew, wondering what the difference is. I don't know. I just don't like the taste of the Coke Zero. It's just not like Diet Coke. And I'm clearly, I admit it, I'm addicted to Diet Coke. I have been for years. Dennis says, I drink water. Nothing better than an ice cold cane sugar Mexican Coke, drinking from the glass bottle. Oh, yeah. We do occasionally get Mexican Cokes at home. But I'm not a Coke person. I'm a Diet Coke person. Cokes and Coke Zero have a very similar flavor. The Zero's a little limier, but they have a similar taste to me. And the Diet Coke is a totally different taste. Now, some people are totally turned off by the Diet Cokes. I understand that too. Never tried any flavors from the Diet Coke range. Yeah, I don't like I don't like them to mess with it. I just want straight old Diet Coke. Fantastic threshold. Yeah, that was cool. Bridge of Sighs, laugh out loud. Yes. I'm not sure why it doesn't look anything like the real Bridge of Sighs in Venice. I'm not sure why they picked that name. And there's a lower one too. There's one, I think, on 6, but it's not, probably a little longer than that one. It's not, it's 6 or 8. It's not up as high. But there's 2 on whichever deck it's on. One on starboard and one on port. But the Bridge of Sighs on 16, there's one. That's it. The one I went across. That's it. No to that bridge for me, Cindy says. Love the accessible balcony. Sad to hear of the issues with MSC. Well, it's not, it's early. And it's sad that I started off with a bad taste in my mouth, and which was just beyond anybody's control, except MSC could clearly have gotten it to me quicker. But they're busy. It's their first cruise. They got 5,600 people. They got to get all the luggage to everybody and all the crap that they got to do. I understand all that. I was trying to be as patient as I could, and just got to the point that I lost my patience. So I'm trying to not let that be a downer for the whole cruise. So, but I keep adding up the little things that are not right as far as the accessibility issues go, but that's what I'm going to end up talking about. Tom, from a 34-year-long type 1 diabetic, I believe the difference is simply the type of artificial sweetener. I know that different types and flavors of diets often affect my blood glucose levels differently. Well, that's interesting, Robert. I'm not surprised on that. So, Cindy says, I'm having severe cruise withdrawals. Well, then you got to get on a boat. That's all. It's easy to take care of. Living vicarious through you. Just over 80 days. Oh, my goodness. Carnival Horizon has elevators similar to that also. Okay. I'm kind of surprised that I've heard of them, but I'm really surprised that I haven't been on a ship that had that type of elevators before. The Bronx Penn Station line is a commuter line, not the New York subway line. Unfortunately, the commuter line to upstate areas went out of Hudson River terminals in New Jersey. And then another line takes you to Penn Station. Okay. Your beach session is expected when cruising on MSC. Now, see, I liked the 3 MSCs that I did. I wasn't as attuned to accessibility issues then. And I just don't remember because I wasn't looking for things like I look for them now. But I enjoyed the 3 cruises that I'd taken with them. The food was good, acceptable to good. I wouldn't say it was great. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Of course, a couple of those cruises had my brand of bourbon, so I love the booze. I've always enjoyed their entertainment. I don't mind MSC. I don't mind that it's more of a European style cuisine. I kind of like it. Eddie says 45 for me. It'll be 3 years since Eddie's last cruise out of New York. I enjoy herring and sour cream. Best in New York from Zatter's on Broadway near 81st Street. Herring and sour cream. Well, I haven't done herring for a long time. Maybe I'll have to try that in the morning. I was thinking that was cream cheese that was there. It might be sour cream. I mean, I didn't look that closely. Okay. You about sold me. I'll try that, Dennis. Let's see here. water is better. Yeah. I drink my share of water. I don't drink as much on a ship, but with the drink package, I can get water too. Yeah, maybe I need to do that. Get a big bottle of water to have in my room. 3 to 4 liters a day. Wow, that seems like a lot of water. Drink more chocolate martinis yet? No, I haven't. Come to think about it, I didn't think about chocolate martinis last week. I'll have to do a chocolate martini just for you, Cindy. And I'm not sure where the pizza is on this ship, so I can do a pizza review. Although you can have pizza delivered to your cabin, room service pizza. So I might have to do a room service pizza review just to keep Pittsburgh Jason happy. Nathaniel Watkins, that's a new name. Question: you tell us about the room service and menu and the shows, especially the one you have to pay for. I'm going in June. Thank you. I haven't seen anything about a show that you have to pay for. So I haven't come across that yet, Nathaniel. But I'll look into it. And I have not really talked about room service yet because I rarely ever use room service. There was one of the handouts that in the room yesterday about room service. I will get that for tomorrow and have that for tomorrow's show, so I can talk about room service. I have no idea if it's free, expensive, not a clue, but I'll find out. That's good homework for me tonight. There's Nanook of the North, John, 20 below zero and 8 feet of snow. Just use my pure, proud, and sweet crystal sugar. Okay. I'll offer them slack as it's their inaugural cruise. I never recommend them. Best to wait several months for a new ship to sort out. Yeah, that's always been my position, Dennis. This is the first inaugural I've ever done, and I came into it with wide open eyes that I knew there would be some problems, but I just thought it was time for me to do one of these. By the way, I did meet Corey yesterday from Midship. He came over and I posted a picture of my prime rib last night, and in the comments there's a picture of prime rib looks exactly like mine, and he says, "Is this yours?" I knew it was. He had to be there because there was a glass of wine sitting next to his, and mine had a glass of bourbon and Coke Zero next to mine. So it's good to meet him. So I'm hopeful that he and I can spend some time together this week. I'd like to pick his brain. He's got a fancy camera that I want to see how it works that he does live streams with. So that was good to meet him. We've chatted online several times for a long time. It's the first time I've actually been on a cruise with him. So, Cindy, I have a product that will alleviate that cruise craving. Yeah, Cindy, he has a problem, a product. You won't be craving cruises then. You'll be craving something else. Oh, that was funny, John. That was good. Goodness gracious, there's Katie. Morning, Chillie. Your sound and video are great this morning. The Wi-Fi so far has been really, really good. It's a satellite-based system, so they give you a warning that it's possible that it can get wonky and weather and stuff like that, or if you're in mountains and high mountains might block the signals. I don't know. It's over my head. But anyway, so far, yeah, it's been really good. I had a nice signal from my cabin. I was really shocked on. A friendly reminder to please adhere to long-standing etiquette and refrain from using all caps for words. No need to shout, and all cap words interfere with digital readers for the visually impaired. I didn't know that. Yeah. Didn't know that at all. All right, guys. I got to get to work here. Let's see. Edible gummies, chocolate mints, drinks. Cindy says, laugh out loud. Sorry, Mr. E. Don't forget to bring pizza back to your stateroom for late. Yeah, I got to find out where the pizza is. I know for a fact that it's not in the buffet. Well, I don't know. Could be. I just did the breakfast buffet. But I didn't see anything that looked like a pizza station. So I got to track that down because I definitely like the idea of having some pizza at night. Cindy says, looking forward to trying MSC, taking a short cruise in June to try them out. Or Justin, Mr. Bucket List. I'm late as usual, but hey, hello, Justin. Glad you're with us. I still want to get with Justin one of these days. He's got one of those airplanes that he flies, the drones. He's one of the drone pilots. He was going to do a drone video of me on one of the ships I was on. But anyway, we'll see about that. I have a feeling Justin and I are going to be doing some cruising together here pretty soon. Check the Lido deck for pizza. Yeah, I haven't. And now I've been up to Lido deck. Now, whether I've covered all of it or not, probably haven't yet. But I did go to the back of the ship, which would be a logical place for it. Although I wasn't specifically hunting for pizza. But I did go back there. I'll find it. It's got to be here someplace. Honest. I love the chocolate martinis on NCL. They are $3 plus service charge due to price over the drink package, but a mudslide on the rocks is included. It tastes about the same. I've never had a mudslide. And again, I'll have to see. I have to see if they're, if they're covered in this package or not. Hell, I don't know. Good tip, Tom. We'll be on NCL Escape next. The girls love our chocolate drinks. There has to be a pizzeria on them. Oh, I know. There has to be. They're known for their pizza. I'm always looking forward to good pizza. So, all right, that'll be on the agenda today. I'll find pizza and see about getting a video done on pizza. that'll be on the agenda as I try to catch up from the disaster yesterday. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Tomorrow we're in Nassau. I'm actually hoping that there's 6 ships in Nassau tomorrow. I'd love to be able to film some different ships from my idiot short clips that I've been using. So anyway, we're in Nassau tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a fantastic day. See you tomorrow. Might see you with a live stream later on today from somewhere on the ship to catch up for yesterday. All right, guys. Have a fantastic day. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.